Please tell us all about your experience on parenting, lifestyle, holism, comprehensive. Well, what are you seeing? What are the challenges you seeing today, Luke? Please go ahead.
Great, thanks for having me. And I think this is a beautiful initiative, mindful parenting. I think it's such a need of an hour because there's so much of confusion. There's so much of content. There are certain cultures that try to impress upon us, put parents into a box, put children into a box that you should co-sleep for this amount of years, you should do this, you should do that, failing to understand the individuality of a child, the uniqueness of a child, that every child is different. Every child may need, different emotions from a parent at a particular time. And what I'm seeing today and whatever I speak about is not what I think is right. In lifestyle medicine and holistic medicine, we look at what does the patient need? What does a child need? What does a parent need? Rather than us assuming that all children need a particular thing. All parents need a particular thing. It's always the other way around. I'd like to start off with a simple example. The constant debate on co-sleeping. No, you should allow your child only to sleep with you for 1.5 years. Then you should move the child out of the room. This is impressed on us by different cultures, assuming that all children are the same. But the beauty in our own country in India, co-sleeping is dependent on so many various factors. Sometimes a child needs to sleep with both parents for a longer period of time. That helps them with their emotional development, with a feeling of security, with a feeling of independence, love, attention, time. And some kids move out automatically into their own rooms. And every parent has to be, that's why I love the word mindful. What does my child need? Rather than putting ourselves into a box because certain cultures say it has to be this way at this particular age. So what we're seeing around is confusion, so much of content, and the fact that we're trying to put the human spirit of a parent or a child in a box, expecting the same results, but they're completely different. So today, when I look, there are always foundations, like the foundations of lifestyle medicine is balanced nutrition, adequate exercise, deep sleep, and emotional wellness. What are the three foundations that a child needs? That can never change. Like laws in nature can't change. The law of gravity can't change. There are foundations that will never change for a child. And that's what we start to mindfully nurture. Number one, love. Number two, attention and time. Number three, a sense of safety or security. These are the three foundations, and you can break them down into smaller things, but these are the three foundations. If a child gets this, it's the foundation block of their growth, how they'll be as they age, as they move into their teenage years. While we have value systems, which are very, very important, the foundations. So while we look at all of these things, what age our children should do this, what age our children should do that, we can be flexible and fluid with that. But we have to ask ourselves, have we kept the foundations strong? Sometimes parents travel a lot. That's why the child wants to sleep with them, even if they're 6, 7, or 8 years old, because they're looking for that time. They're looking for that safety and security. Children don't understand the meaning of safety and security and love and time. They feel it. They don't understand it like adults. They understand it through feeling. So when we give them time, when we're talking to them, not looking at our phones, when we're engaging them, they feel that. When they sleep with two parents, or they get cuddled, or they get hugged, they feel a sense of safety and security. When parents tell them, no matter what, we're here for you, they feel it because they don't understand. So how do we nurture these three blocks? Now, over and above that, we can add complication. Oh, but this psychologist said that, this psychiatrist said this is what we should do. That's up to you. Every parent has the right to make their decision, but on a solid foundation. We always build the health. When I say health, I'm not talking about physical today. I'm talking about emotional. The emotional and physical health of a child has to be built on a strong foundation. If the foundation is weak, everything that you build on will always tend to be weak and kind of falling apart. So I think the things I'm seeing in today's world is we're taking a beautiful spirit of a child and putting it into a box, not realizing our children are different, not realizing that we as parents, we're different. We may have gone through a different childhood. Sometimes parents, in fact, I say all parents, all our jobs, me included, we need to be healing all the time to make sure that we're not projecting our own negativities our own voids onto our children, which is very easy to do. No one's fault. And that's why parents also have to play a role of constantly healing. So these are the things we're trying to see. Parents come to us, fix our children, but the parents need to fix themselves first before the children can be fixed. So it's a very holistic approach when you look at these things that are happening in today's world. We have to look like every parent has the best intentions for their children, that we don't want them to get into drugs. We don't want them to get into mindless sex. We don't want them to get into this. But we don't realize that we're giving them the platform of free access to social media. We don't want them to watch pornography, but we've opened the gateway of soft porn through social media today. So no one's right or wrong. We have a genuine problem that we need to solve. At the same time, we need to see how to figure their lives, move them slowly into social media at the right age. There are all these things that come up. So to answer your question, these are the things that we're seeing all the time. And parents have to be the role model. We cannot tell our children don't have aerated drinks, but they see us drinking it at night. We need to be the role model. If we want our children to be kind, how are we demonstrating that? And of course, we make mistakes. We also want them to see the mistakes we make and say, hey, I made a mistake. I was rude today. And that's not the way we want to be. We don't have to show our perfect self, because we don't want to teach children that perfection is real, because it isn't real. We need to show them that we can be flawed as humans, but we know when to be humble enough to say, I was wrong, rather than adding the ego and pride and confusing them more. So these are some of the things that we're constantly seeing. And the last point is, why do we parents think we know it all? At least my personal journey, I'm no one to preach, but I like talking through experience, because we deal with parents of sick children, healthy children. And I have my own daughter. You know how much we learn when we just ask children what they want instead of assuming? And you'll be surprised. You'll think they want to go to the mall, they want to go that. Ask them. They say, no, I just want to be home today. When we ask our children, you get what they truly want. Because most parents, we just get used to assuming that they want this, assuming that they want that. Give you a simple scenario in Mumbai. A child's social calendar is sometimes busier than an adult with the amount of parties they have to go for, events. And when you really ask these kids, do you want to go for all of those? They'll say, no, I just want to go for one or two of them. But we assume they want to go, and we're planning their weekends and filling it up. So I think the last point would be, let's not assume. Let's build healthy conversations, give them the gift of understanding, involving them. Like, what do you want? What do you want to do? Because children really know what they want. Of course, we can draw our boundaries and say no if we have to. But rather than us assuming, I think it's a beautiful gift to give them, where we ask them what they want, how they feel, and lead it in that direction.
Luke, thank you for those wonderful words.
Very,
If
very substantial opening.
so many messages, so many important messages, what you've given us. I want to tell you something. It is very heartening. When I see you, I see Natasha and Tiana with you.
It's very sweet. Thank you.
I see the three of you. Ma bless all of you. I see the three of you together. So lots of love to them. Look, talk about the importance of doing small things with great love. We are not teaching our children to live our daily life with great love. We are teaching them about the big things and what are they going to be and what are they going to acquire, but their daily life with great love.
Great. That's a beautiful question. So first, I want to start with a little bit of science. I didn't know this earlier in life, nor did my parents and a lot of people out there, but we've learned it. And every parent has to know from the time their child is born till the age of 8 or 9, their subconscious mind is like a sponge. What does this mean? How do children learn to brush their teeth? Can I motivate any of the parents today to stop brushing their teeth? If I tell parents you lose weight faster if you stop brushing your teeth, will anyone listen? As much as they want to lose weight, they want. Why? It's in their subconscious mind. How did it get into their subconscious mind? Repetition, repetition, repetition. The subconscious mind of a child from the time they're born to roughly 8 or 9, and I'll talk how that 8 or 9 could even become 10 and 11. There's a way to do it. The subconscious mind is like a sponge. What they hear, what they see, what we teach them, values, get into their subconscious mind, the good and the bad, both of them. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a truth and a lie. It doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. It just takes and absorbs all the time, which is why sometimes some people lie so much that they believe it's the truth. Or you'll have some prisoners who say, I didn't even know I was doing this, because they've done it so many times that they believe it's the right way of doing it. Now, this gives us the power to use 8, 9 years to build in value systems. They see us, they model us, they will talk like us, they will pick up the languages, they will see everything, because that's how a child learns. Everything goes into the subconscious mind, and their behaviors will come out of that. All our behaviors come out of subconscious mind. Like, let's say we're addicted to our phones. We just pick it up randomly. What is that? Subconscious patterns. And sometimes you don't even need it, but you picked it up. Subconscious patterns. Now, children have a beautiful imagination. That's why they'll believe in pixies and goblins and Santa Claus. And, that's why you have fairy tales as books, right? That imagination, the longer you keep it going, the subconscious mind remains more and more open. So if you have a child today, let's say your child is 7 or 8, and you say, oh no, I didn't know we have this tool that we can now impress and impress and impress. That's why certain grades in school fall between the age group of 3 and 8, because you learn your basic alphabets because you're learning through your subconscious mind. It's very difficult to learn once the conscious mind starts to become more dominant. So now what we teach them, now a child's imagination today, we all tell, a lot of parents like, oh, don't believe in this, teach them reality. You're teaching them to shut their subconscious mind at an earlier age. So even if your child today is 9 or 10 and they still have this imagination of fairy tales and stuff like that, keep it going. They're still programmable at a subconscious level. But the moment we say this is not true, and parents have their valid reasons, I want to teach them reality. But how is reality going to help a child at 8, 9, and 10? Reality comes in at the right time. There's a time and place for everything and everyone. Someone at the age of 50 will automatically find spiritual paths easier. That's their phase of life. Someone trying to do it at 12 and 13 will get frustrated. They can actually get depressed because they're not in that right phase. They can embrace spirituality, but they're in a different phase of life. They're supposed to live, they're supposed to do different things. So this subconscious power that we have is such a beautiful thing that parents can use right now. We say, I think my child's going to do drugs at 13. What is the program you've put into their minds between the age of 1 and 8, right? It's all up to the programming that we put in. And I want us to use the skill. So you are right. Today, people want their children to live before their age. You have to understand whether you like it or not, and if the world is doing it, what has not changed is the architecture of your child's brain. It will not develop faster because you want it to. It's a resilient mind. It can learn faster. Children can pick up multiple languages. They can learn AI. They can learn coding. That's because they can. But you want a child's brain to develop at the pace of nature. Some children are slow. They pick up later in life. Some children are fast and they slow down later in life. There is no right or wrong. You allow, like I plant a seed today. Okay, I am in control of the depth of the seed, the kind of soil, the kind of manure. And then I have to surrender. It is dependent on the weather. It is dependent on so many other features. That is what we need to do. Provide the basics and foundations to your child and let them automatically start to grow. Now, as they move into 13 and 14, you mold them. You find they like piano or basketball. You slowly start moving away from 5 sports a week. You slowly start bringing it down more towards what their passion is and moving them in that direction. But at age 8, 9, 10, a child doesn't know what they want. Let's not forget there are adults at 30, 40, 50 who still don't know what they want. So why put the pressure on children? The whole point is, I think the pressure for most parents comes from comparison. It's a subconscious or a very conscious variable. Everyone's parents at class is sending their kid for tennis. We should send them for tennis. Without realizing that tennis may not be their skill. They want to do something else. They want to do aerial silk. They want to do piano. Every child is different. And we're living in a world, like I said, where I really wouldn't say it's anyone's fault. Everyone is constantly in society, looking at what people are doing, absorbing information, but not mindfully thinking, is this what I really want for my child? Is this what my child really needs at this particular time? So that word mindful, I love that you'll use it because parenting can become scientific, it can become preachy, but mindfulness brings in the element of we have a child who's different. Let's mindfully build around our child, build around our skills, what we didn't have, what they have, and put it all together. So I really think, and you know what? There are two spectrums of children in the world today. Everyone doing multiple things and burning out their children, okay, doesn't mean success. It doesn't mean that. And everyone not doing things and allowing their children to just bloom naturally. At the right time, my son will go for cricket. At the right time, my daughter will go for that. There's success there as well. So there is no right and there is no wrong. Like I always say, at the end of the rat race, we're all going to still be rats. Someone may be a wealthier rat, a more successful rat, or a sicker rat. So we want to make sure that through mindful parenting, we're not in the rat race. We're in the human race, where we're bringing mindfulness into our choices, our understanding, and our conversations with our children.